Resul-i Ekrem ve Nebi Muhterem sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem Efendimiz Hazretlerinin aziz, pak, münevver, mutahhar ruh şeriflerine, salavat-ı şerife getirenlerine ahir ve akıbetleri hayrola. Âl-i ezvacı, tahiret evladı, Resul-i Eshab-ı Güzün Efendilerimizin vesaire Enbiya Azem ve Resulü Fiyan Haziratın ervah şeriflerine, Pirimiz Biallah Habeşi radıyallahu anh Efendimizin, Şeyhimiz sahibi Sevş Abdülkerim El-Kıbrıs Rabbani Hazretlerinin ve alel husus bu caminin bahanesi ve bugüne kadar içerisinden gelmiş geçmiş İmam müezzin kayımlarının ve kahve ehli imanın ervahı için, Allah rızası için El-Fatiha. Euzubillahimineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. İnnallâhe ve melâiketehu yusallûne alen-nebi. Ya eyyühellezîne amenû sallu aleyhi ve sellimû teslîmâ. Allahümme salli ala seyyidina Muhammed ve ala ali seyyidina Muhammed. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. Eşhedü en la ilahe illallah. Eşhedü en la ilahe illallah. Eşhedü enne Muhammeden Resulullah. Eşhedü enne Muhammeden Resulullah. Hayya ale's-salâh. Hayya ale's-salâh. Hayya alel-felâh. Hayya alel-felâh. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. La ilahe illallah.
Elhamdülillah, elhamdülillah, elhamdülillahi Rabbil alemin. Ve salatu ve selamu ala Resulina Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve sahbihi ecmain. Nahmedullah Teala ve nagfirullah, eşhedü en la ilahe illallah vahdehu la şerike leh ve eşhedü enne seyyidina Muhammeden abduhu ve habibuhu ve resuluh sallallahu aleyhi ve ala alihi ve ezvacihi ve sahbihi tabi'il hulefa'ir raşidin mahadin min ba'di ve zemmet ala tahkik ve zemmet fa'allameti hulefa rasul ala tahkik Umar el-Mu'minin Hazreti Ebu Bakr, Umar, Osman ve Ali ve ala bakir sahbihi tabi'in ridvanullah Teala aleyhim ecmain. Ya eyyuhel mu'minul hazirun İttakullaha Teala ve te'innallaha ma'allezîne tekvellezîne hum muhsinun. Elhamdülillahi Rabbil alemin. Salatu ve selamu ala eşrafil enbiya ve mursalin. Seyyidina Mevlana Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve sahbihi ecmain. All praises are due to Allah, Lord of the universes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in the Holy Quran, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, O you who believe, fear Allah. And let every soul look to what it sends forward for tomorrow. And fear Allah. Indeed, Allah is informed of what you do. And don't be like those who forgot Allah, so He made them forget their own souls. Such are the evildoers. The companions of the fire and the companions of the garden are not equal. The companions of the garden are the victorious ones. If we had sent this Quran upon a mountain, you would have seen it humble, torn apart from the fear of Allah. Such are the examples that we present to mankind so that they might think. He is Allah. There is no ilah except Him, knower of the invisible and the visible. He is the most gracious, the most merciful. He is Allah. There is no ilah but Him, the King, the Holy One, peace, the keeper of faith, the guardian, the majestic, the compeller, the superb. Glorified be Allah from all that they associate with Him. He is Allah, the Creator, the one who shapes out of nothing, the fashioner. His are the most beautiful names. And all that is in the heavens and the earth glorifies Him. And He is the mighty, the wise. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. May all peace and blessings be upon the master of the first and the last, Sayyidina Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Ya Allah, bless our master Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, whose light was created first and whose appearance is a mercy for all the worlds, as many times as the number of your creations, past and yet to come, of those that are blessed and those that are unfortunate. A blessing that drowns out counting itself, that is unlimited and unbounded. A blessing that is endless, never finishing. A blessing that is permanent with your foreverness, and also bless his family and companions with this blessing. Such is the Salawat al-Ghawsiyah of Shaykh Abdul Qadir al-Gilani Qaddas Asir. Ya ayyuhal mu'minun, O believers, the happiness of Bani Adam can only come from living in a way that pulls the pleasure of his Lord. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our fashioner, our designer, our creator, and he has created our heart so that nothing can satisfy it except the love of Allah and the ones Allah loves. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allah bi zikrullahi ta'ma'in qulub. Only in the remembrance of Allah can the heart find satisfaction. Only by being in the circle of those who remember Allah can we find peace. Can our hearts be satisfied? Our master, Sahib al-Saif, Shaykh Abdul Karim al-Kibrisi Rabbani Qaddas is saying, this world is not paradise. And angels are going to come to you to say to you, O servant of Allah, leave this. Look what Allah has prepared for you here, non-stop. That is paradise. This is not paradise. But those people who believe, those people who connected their hearts to their Lord with their Prophet ﷺ and with their masters, they find peace inside. Everything around them may start collapsing, but there is peace inside. If people build everything around them, but they didn't build their hearts, everything around them is so good, but it's collapsing inside every single day. Sahib al-Saif is speaking here not about the world of this dunya, but about the world of the heart. And he is saying that when a man is connected with the masters, then their heart is going to find peace. No matter what is happening outside, the heart is going to find peace. That is why the enemies of Islam, their first mission was to remove the love of the masters from the heart of the ummah. And they were so successful in that mission that today, even if people hear the word master, Sayyidi, Sheikh, they say, I'm a free man. I don't have any master. I don't need a master. I'm alone. And because of this attitude, Muslims may have everything, but they have no peace. And those who have masters, they don't hold on to the masters. Well, they may have everything, but they don't have peace. Muslims separated themselves from the presence of those who are in Allah's presence. Their hearts become restless. Sahib al-Saif is saying the Muslims are very uncomfortable. They're doing all this, praying and doing everything, but still saying, I'm not comfortable. My spirit. Yes, it's true. We cannot be comfortable because now we are not living according to the teachings of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. We're not taking that very seriously to apply to our lives. If we're doing that, then we have to take some other lifestyle, and whichever country we're living in at that time, we're going to pick up what is their lifestyle. And that's what's really happening to us. Do we have our countries anymore? Are there Muslim countries that are living according to the laws of Allah? No. Already that has changed too. So we have no role model countries anymore. So what do we have to do? Allah and His Prophet ﷺ is promising us that there's always going to be people among you who are beloved to Allah and they are connected with the Holy Prophet ﷺ. run to them, be with them, sit with them, talk with them, learn from them, be with Salihin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, He's saying through that ayat, and so many Muslims today, so many scholars today are saying, those awliya were then, there's no more awliya now. And Allah is saying to us something else in the Quran Kareem. He's saying, be with the Salihin, be with those righteous people. His word is living. It's going to live. It's going to live until the judgment day and beyond the judgment day. It's living. So the arrogance and stubbornness. Man today doesn't want to listen to anyone except himself, except his ego. At least in the old days, people were saying, well, I'm very happy with my mind, but I'll take some advice from the holy people too. People used to take this very seriously and pay respect to the holy ones very seriously. Alhamdulillah, we are in the month of Rabi al-Ahir. In a few days, we will reach to the urs of one of the greatest ones that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ever created. Ghawsul Azam, Shaykh Muhyiddin Abdul Qadir Gailani Qaddasallahu Sir. Ghawsul Azam himself is saying, you must pay attention to the commands of the sheikhs and act on them. They will guide you on the path of Allah, since they have already traveled on this path. Today there are many people who say, I follow Ghawsul Azam directly, but even Ghawsul Azam is saying that every person needs a living guide, because the living guide comes for his people and comes for his time and comes for the guidance that is necessary. It is so easy for the ego to say, I follow a guide, but he's not living anymore. It is so easy for the ego to say then, that time, whatever comes to my heart, that guide is sending to me. It is always difficult for the ego, just like shaitan, to bow down to a man and to say, this is my guide, as Allah has ordered it for me. Alhamdulillah, that in our way we have a great connection to Ghawsul Azam. Our grand sheikh and our sheikh are the grandsons of Ghawsul Azam. And that real teaching of Ghawsul Azam, the teaching of service and submission, we're learning it through our masters. Sahib al-Saif is teaching us about Ghawsul Azam's life, saying, Abdul Qadir Gailani Qaddasallahu Sir was living alone in the mountain. He wasn't running to find food or other things. He was keeping himself busy with Allah. He wasn't worrying and running to pay rent or work, saying, I need this and I need that. No, he said, Allah is going to provide me with what I need. If it's necessary for me, then He is going to. That was the submission that he had. He has worshipping. And whenever it was necessary and he really needed to eat something, he would find some grass, which I remember from my childhood, that we were doing that on the mountains. We were finding some kind of mountain grass that doesn't need to be cooked, and we were eating it, and it fills you up. What do you need? The water is there too. What else do you need? What is the need of man? Man has to know first what his need is. But today's people's needs, they are never ending. There is no end to their needs. They are piling everywhere. And before you know it, they're scared to use it too. They were not like that. They were going through tests which Allah was putting. Sheikh Abdul Qadir Gailani passed the test. He was eating grass, water, and keeping himself busy with Allah only. He wasn't running around to teach people too. He didn't care if he was going to be a sheikh or he was going to have these many people following him. No, he was not running for that. So Allah was looking at his sincerity. Then Allah inspired him, saying to him, go down to Baghdad and live like a king. From now on, eat like a king, live like a king, and give the secrets to people. He got the command. He didn't worry to think, how am I going to live like a king? He said, Allah is moving me. While Allah was moving that one, and when he was entering to Baghdad, Allah was inspiring the richest man in Baghdad, saying, go to the entrance of the city and you're going to find my servant coming. From now on, you will be his servant. Serve him and you will find safety in dunya and akhirat. That man had faith. He had the money too. He had the wealth. He built everything, and he realized, oh, this is what I built it for. So I must go to see the owner who is coming. So he went. He saw Abdul Qadir Geilani Qadal-Zasir coming, and he said, please come to be my guest. Allah is ordering me to serve you. He had a place like a palace. Abdul Qadir Geilani Hazrat Ari didn't run to build palaces. Allah built it for him through other people. And he wasn't using it for himself. He was using it for other people again. Sultan al-Awliya, Shaykh Maulana Muhammad Nazim, Adil al-Haqqani, Qadasullah Sir, is telling about this story more. Is saying, once a scholar came to visit Hazrat Abdul Qadir Geilani, and he secretly tied 2 silver coins to his belt for his journey, thinking he might need it. When he got to Shaykh Abdul Qadir's palace, he saw a big hall with rich carpets and couches. People were sitting at tables of 2, eating 1 lamb and 3 turkeys. The scholar started saying in his heart, how can this be a big veli and he's living like a king? He is supposed to live like a fakir. And Hazrat Abdul Qadir Geilani knew what the scholar was thinking and said to him, Ya Alim, oh scholar, come here. Your thinking is wrong. I give less value to this whole dunya than you give to those 2 silver coins you tied to your belt when you came here. When a person gives freely without fear, we are holding the world in our hands like a man who picks up something dirty, touches it just with his fingernails, then drops it the first place he can find. We are giving to everyone who needs, not collecting wealth. This way of giving, this Karimi way, it is a way of the Osmanli Naqshbandi Sheikhs. Our Sheikh, Sheikh Abdul Karim, he is a servant of the most generous. His name is that. And whoever described him, they would always say he was the most generous person I knew. When people described his father, Sayyid Haji Fuad, may Allah bless him and raise his stations, they would say he emptied his pockets for people and didn't keep anything for himself. Shaykh Effendi told us that when Shaykh Maulana would get a jubba as a gift, he did not even have time to put it on. He would give it to someone else. This generosity, it is the way of prophets and saints. And Shaykh Effendi taught us that the happiness and joy and peace that you get from being generous, it doesn't come in any other way. Shaykh Effendi is saying, it is a duty for man to be generous. The generous people Allah loves, all prophets love, and all awliya love. Generosity makes man not to go out from this world without faith. Some way, somehow is going to reach to man. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is favoring that one because he's generous. And generosity, even if he's an unbeliever, is going to reach to them. Some help is going to reach to them to say the shahadat in the last minute and to go out from this world. Impossible for him to go out from this world without faith. As soon as he says the shahadat, the things that he did, the generosity that he did is going to come in front of him. They'll say, you did these things. And Allah is rewarding you with this for these good things that you did. So before you know, he's going to find so many things that were disaster to him, but they are going to show to him. Faith has reached to you because of this generosity. Generosity was granted to you from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of these generations that are coming. Don't be too spoiled to think again that you are something. And because you did this generosity to this person and this one was beloved to Allah, his prayer reached to you and that prayer saved you. That prayer is the one that saves the man. If you are a stingy one, you may pray a lot. You may do so many worshiping. But there's a big danger waiting for you. You may go out from this world without faith if you are a stingy person. It's because you are being stingy in the mulk of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is not yours. Nothing is yours and you are pulling to yourself. And Allah doesn't like that. He doesn't want that from His servants. Generous ones are reaching. The stingy ones, even if they do something, because of their stinginess, even though they did it, but their heart is hurting. Even if they did something great, instead of getting lots of reward, they may get a lot of punishment for it. And the words of the friends of Allah, they speak the truth. And may Allah save us for stinginess. Generosity is not just with money. Stinginess is just not with money. A generous man is generous with himself, with his time, what he has, what he enjoys, what he likes and what he loves. He shares and he gives and he sacrifices. A generous man is generous with himself, with his time. A stingy man gets upset to share anything from himself with others. They would not even smile at you. Holy Prophet ﷺ even said, the person who hears my name mentioned and doesn't recite salawat for me, that person is bakhil, that person is stingy. So this lifestyle that they're teaching us, this Osmanli Naqshbandi lifestyle, it is to teach us to be generous with each other. That same generosity that Ghaus al-Azam was speaking about, that same generosity that Shaykh Maulana had, that Abul Fuqara had, that Shaykh Fandi had, we must learn that generosity in the Dargah. That generosity comes not just when you are giving extra, but that generosity especially is when you are giving from yourself. And Sahib al-Saif is saying people are not sharing anything anymore. Parents are not sharing with children. Children are not sharing with their parents. Brothers and sisters are not sharing. Everyone turning only to themselves, being selfish and egoistic individuals. And individuality, whole nations became like that. And now that sickness has covered us, the Muslims, nations, and the Muslim people too. If we don't come out from that, pray 24 hours a day if you want. Who cares? If you think or we think that we're going to reach somewhere with that, then no. You don't know how Allah's mercy and rahmat may reach you and where He is going to be happy with you. You don't know which action you're going to do and Allah is going to be happy with you. Sometimes people do so many extra things, but they're not doing several things right. And they're not reaching anywhere. But if you make one small thing, maybe you will make Allah to be pleased with you. And if Allah is pleased with you, everything around will be pleased with you. When people become familiar to each other and they start loving and respecting each other, you cannot find problems anymore. The problems will go away. And if one has a problem, the other one has a solution. And if one has a problem, solutions may come from every direction. And if that one does not have the solution, then another one has the solution. Otherwise, look what happens. The whole world has turned into a hell. Everyone has everything today, but they are not sharing anything. Nobody is sharing anything. Everyone is sitting in their own houses. They are not happy. Nobody is happy in their houses. So what do? They run around even more. Why are you running more? Do you think you're going to be happy? You cannot. So when the ayat came where Allah is saying to us, give the best of the wealth you have to the poor, Allah's order saying the best one, saying when you are giving away, don't go to give some things that you don't like and some things that you're just going to throw away. He says, give the best ones that you like. This is another teaching to teach us not to become slave to the material things. That ayat came, and the Prophet ﷺ was saying that ayat to the Sahaba Kiram. When it finished, Abu Talha radiallahu an got up and he said, Ya Rasulullah, it is known to you that I have a land in Medina that has 600 date trees in it. Everything I'm giving to you. Use it as you like. Give it to the poor. Use it any way you like. It is under your authority. No longer is it mine. Allah is saying, give, but I don't know to whom to give. You are the best one. So I give it to you. Use it as you like. Give it to anybody you want. Don't take it lightly. thinking that 600 date trees are not something. It is something. I will tell you. I will give you a comparison. Date trees take almost 100 years to give dates. You have to put it, and then when it reaches over 50 years, passing 50 years, then maybe it will start giving you dates. 600 date trees are as if Abu Talha had a factory where dollars are being printed. This is how you have to compare. And he gave it just like that because of that ayat that came. He says, this is the best. And Ya Rasulullah, it is known to you that I was keeping this place for you, but now I'm giving it to you completely because of this ayat. And he came to the land, and his wife was waiting inside. She prepared something to eat, and he said to her, collect everything and come out. He did not even enter inside. She said, what is the matter? Ya Abu Talha, come inside and let us eat. He says, no, this land does not belong to us anymore. I just gave it to the Holy Prophet ﷺ. She says, Ya Abu Talha, did you give it on my behalf also? He says, yes. She says, oh Ya Rabi, thank you. This is what I was thinking all the time. Ya Abu Talha, I have been seeing the poor people in Medina, and I was thinking maybe we should give this to the poor people. So I'm very happy now, and I'm coming out. And they left it to the Holy Prophet, and the Holy Prophet ﷺ fed the whole of Medina with it. These people would not only give their lands, they would give their lives to the Holy Prophet. Allah gives to everybody, but Allah gives to everybody through the hands of others. And maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make you to hold the risk of another 50 people. If you're holding on to it tightly and not giving, then maybe these people's hearts will not be too happy with Allah, although they are praying, and in the judgment day, you will be responsible. So if you give, maybe you make one of them happy, and they will pray for you. And the best people whose prayers are accepted are the poor, who are not complaining and who are fasting. They are hungry. That is the time that their prayer is accepted. Whatever people give, whatever they invest, that is what they will get in the end. Nothing will be lost in the book of Allah. It may be lost in the books of humans. You may do something to somebody and later they do not appreciate, and they scream, they curse, they fight with you. That is another test that Allah is giving to us. We are not too happy about it, but we are not going to sit and calculate and fight. But you will see, and you will find that in your books in the hereafter. And the words of the awliya Allah, they speak the truth. This karim sifat, this generosity is our inheritance from the Sahabi to the Salihin to our grand sheikhs, and now it is coming to us. We saw Shaykh Effendi live this generosity, and now we must spread this generosity. It is for us, it is for our children, it is for our grandchildren until Judgment Day. This is our responsibility. This generosity is also our inheritance from our Ottoman grandfathers. Because for the Ottomans, the generosity was a pillar of honor that held up the tent of Sultanate, from the highest to the lowest in society. Every time the Sultan would commission the building of any masjid or any imperial structure, he would make sure that attached to it was a soup kitchen and a school. And this soup kitchen and this school is not in the backyard or a hidden part of the masjid. It is right in the entrance of the masjid, of the jami, of the madrasa, of the palace. At the entrance to the Topkapi Palace was an area where wealth and food would be distributed non-stop, and the people would take and pray for the Sultan. Even the mothers of the Sultans, with the halal wealth they had, they would build masjids in orphanages. Simple people, when they would pay for their bread, they would pay the debt of others who could not pay. The Ottomans were so generous, and Allah gave them so much that they were giving charity to non-Muslims. They were being generous in taking care of wolves in the winter so they wouldn't starve. And you will see this characteristic of generosity and gentleness and rahmat even in the stray dogs and the wild cats in the city of Istanbul. None of them have the look of wildness about them. Every one of them are gentle and beautiful. And if this generosity can affect wild beasts, imagine how it's going to affect the one that Allah has created in Ahsani Taqwim. And when generosity is removed, teachings of sharing is removed, the one who is in Ahsani Taqwim becomes lowest of the low, becomes like animals and lower than the animals. And they may have palaces, but there is never any satisfaction or any peace, and they want to steal even from the orphans. And this is what we are seeing in this world right now. What the Ottomans brought, it was a living connection to Allah's friends. The Ottoman palace, it was like the palace of Sheikh Abdul Qadir Gilani. They didn't keep for themselves, and they saw the dunya as something dirty. They only wanted to use it to have the pleasure of Allah. That is why the Ottomans had the honor to be the ones who built the dome over the tomb of Ghaus al-Azam. And that's why all over the empire was written, Ya Hazrati Pir Abdul Qadir Gilani. The Ottomans built a dome to shade the tomb of Sheikh Abdul Qadir Gilani, and he shaded them with his medet and protection. Osman al-Naqshbandis must be walking in that way. And inshallah, we are under that same protection. We should listen to the advice of Pir Sultan Abdul Qadir, so that the sound of his words will surround us with the pleasure of Allah that is surrounding him and his inheritors. He said, "O my dear son, I advise you to have taqwa of Allah and be afraid every time of offending him. I advise you to be ready at all times to fulfill your duty to your parents and to your mashayikh, because Allah will look with favor upon such a servant. You must always be a defender of truth, both in private and in public. Do not be one of the fake Sufis who is ignorant and vulgar, who turns people away. Such people are the thieves of our religion and the bandits on the road of the Muslims. Have the best adab with your fellow creatures and always be humble with them. Because Rasulullah ﷺ is saying, if a person is humble, Allah will raise him. But if he is arrogant, Allah will put him down. You have to always have good manners. Doesn't matter who you are dealing with. You must treat everyone well, young or old, little or great. You must never look at them with anything less than a sympathetic eye. Oh my dear son, you must divorce the dunya, because chasing it means losing your religion. Fast and pray and make dua. Make the dervishes your friends. Make the masjid your home. Make knowledge your property. And make zuhud your decoration. And make Rabi al-Karim your best friend. Don't get dazzled by the dunya, because it's green and it's ripe and it's sweet. But if you get attached to it, it will stick to you. But if you leave it, it will leave you. Anyway, it's not going to last forever. Day and night you have to get ready for the journey that's going to take you from this world to Akhirat. You must give shukr to Allah's favors on you. You must live in this world like a stranger in exile, and then depart from it just like you came into it, because you have no way of knowing what your tomorrow has in store for you at the judgment place. And these are the words of Ghaus al-Azam. And he always speaks the truth. They are the same words we're hearing from our Shaykh, because they are giving us the pure water from the same divine ocean. May we stay under their protection. May we be generous ones. May we be good adab ones. May we be the ones whose hearts are soft for the ummah. May we be the ones whose hearts are hard for batil. May we be the ones who don't forget the ummah. May we be the ones who are given help so we can help the ummah. May zulm come down. May the evil ones come down. May the sincere ones have more authority. May we be under the dome of our Shaykh. May we reach the Mahdi alayhi salam for the sake of Ghawsul Azam, for the sake of our Grand Shaykh, for the sake of Sahib al-Saif. Amen. Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah al-azim al-azim la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum wa atubu ilayh. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك والحمد لله شيء كثير لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك كنت من الظالمين لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك كنت من الظالمين لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك كنت من الظالمين سبحان قدوس ربنا رب الملائكة والروح سبحان قدوس ربنا رب الملائكة والروح سبحان قدوس ربنا رب الملائكة إن دين عند الله الإسلام قام الصلاة
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله